Hello everyone, welcome back to another podcast of our Reset Being Human. I'm Krishna and today joining me as usual is Appa,
Hi
Siva.
everyone.
Okay, so today is episode 4, 5 I think. I don't know, later when it's out we'll know what episode is.
Yeah, so we are losing count, but we are just committed to produce content to see how
Yes,
it helps. I hope the previous contents have been reaching out well, and I don't know whether there's any comment came. If it comes, good.
yes,
Otherwise, let's just continue with whatever we need to chat.
yes, just a father and son talking about life.
Yep.
So today we wanted to talk about basically complacency. Yeah, when we talk about complacency, it's basically the whole theme about it is I'm comfortable where I am. I don't want to go out of it. So that's the topic we're gonna talk about today.
Yep.
And then let's see where it goes. As usual, our chats will go everywhere.
Yeah.
So let's see where we'll start with complacency and see where it ends. So,
Absolutely.
what's your thought, Pa?
Yeah, complacency is, I think, I don't know, I've not Googled it. I don't know what's the meaning. But I guess it's just not having the drive to get things done, although it's important. That's my take. I remember somewhere, I don't know where I read it. I said, if you want to shift your performance, there are three things. One is you decide, okay, I'm going to change. Another one is basically to resolve current situation, whatever that's a yuck, or it's just what do you call that? You're so there's a nice word for it.
Comfortable?
No,
No.
you are so I can't get that word to come. You're so it's not upset. It's worse than upset. It's you're so
Distraught.
no, it's not coming.
Never mind, the word will come.
The word will
It
come.
Yeah.
Basically, it's something like you feel, when you think about it, you're so disgusted. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
You're so disgusted with life that you have to make a decision. Among these three, the most powerful one is the last one, because you have hit the rock bottom and you feel that that's it, I want to bounce. And when you're already at the rock bottom, you can't go anywhere lower. So the only thing you can do is bounce back. So if anyone in a situation like that, you're so disgusted with life, I think it's an amazing place to be, rather than feeling upset, is to see, okay, my ground is now stable. Now, in order to, I asked some of my participants, hey, if you want to jump around 2 feet high, what's the first thing you need to do? Guess what they need to do?
To jump 2 feet high is to stand at a place and jump.
Stand at a place, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they say, I need to jump. Yes, very important. You need to jump. I need to have the strength to jump. Yes, you need to have the strength to jump. But the most important thing to jump is you need to have a stable platform. So just imagine if you're trying to jump 2 feet high from quicksand.
You won't move, you'll go down 2 feet.
Deeper, correct? Because of the action and reaction. So once you know rock bottom, hit ready, it's super stable because it's rock bottom. Now the only thing you can do is jump. So when you can jump, it's high. So that's where, if anyone, I've been in a place of being disgusted. So then just have to come out of it. Everything else is a progress after that. So that's my take on complacency. So any of the three, wherever we are, the easiest place is to decide. But there are many times we have decided, but we never do, right? So we need to see which place is the best place to be, and don't wish anyone to be at the disgusted place.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good place to start. That's my take.
So that means when, let's say, we reach the bottom one, you're already disgusted already, and you have already come out of it, you've jumped out of it, and now you're at the second level, which is what was it again? The second level?
Resolve.
Resolve. So now you're at resolve. Now we know life is a constant improvement. We always say you're always improving. So as we know, when you move from one stage in your life to the next, you're actually improving and you have new skills to improve. So now let's say from the disgusted level, you've gone to resolve. Now the three things will come into effect again. Because now you're at a different level. Now you're at level 2 now. Now do you feel disgusted that you're at level 2 and now you want to go to level 3? How does that apply to that, or how?
No, it's basically we are growing, right? So life, the way I look at it is basically it's a wheel. There's up and down,
Yeah.
and we are always,
Meaning we
oscillating.
are at the circumference of the wheel. We are
Yeah,
always
wherever we
spinning
are.
with the
So
wheel.
whenever we are up, there will be a time we'll be coming down.
Yes.
Now, I'll give you a story. So this is one of my client that I was having a chat. She is actually from a very well-to-do family, well sought-after family, and the family was actually going through some difficulty, right? Now, the father is much older compared to the person I was actually doing this session. And the question that was asked is that she was asking why we are having the same problem, same challenge in our family, but the way my father looks at it is totally different compared to the way I am reacting to the problem.
Okay.
Right.
So basically two different reactions.
Two different reactions, same problem.
Okay.
Right. So what is the difference? So my realization is that there's basically growth over time, right? Time keeps moving.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, and growth happens whenever it's happening. When we have good time or bad time, there's growth taking place.
Yep.
Whether we are learning something from it or not, right? So if you look at the wheel, if it's going up and down, and if it's actually taking a trajectory upwards, let's say, so the wheel can go upwards or
Stay the same.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you look at the daughter and the father was going up and up and up through experience. Daughter being younger, she was also going through up and up and up. But when we look at the both low situation, the father was in a higher plane compared to the daughter. So father's bottom, lowest peak, and the daughter's lowest peak, there was a gap. And that gap is what we call the growth gap, right? Experience. So it's not everybody will respond or react to the same problem in a same situation. If you can look at it in a hierarchy in a management also, it will be different compared to the person who's in a different hierarchy. Similarly in a family also. So the most important thing, are we growing? Like what you said, okay, I moved from here to here. Okay, and then I need to move from here to here. So that part is what we need to look at, the growth side of it.
Okay. So yeah, that technically answers the question, because everyone has their growth. Everyone is moving. So his question is whether you want to stay at that point or not, or you want to go out of that point.
Yes.
So like when you move to a point in your life, you'll be happy because you've moved from an old point to a new point now.
Yeah.
So now, let's say a few years passed in this new point. Now you see like, okay, I want to move past this. So the same three things come in. Whether do you want to change your life or you want to be there? Are you happy being where you are?
Yeah.
So there was a saying that we usually say was, what you tolerate is what you get. Something like that.
Yeah.
So if you are already at the lowest point, disgusted, if you keep tolerating that, you will keep getting that.
Yeah.
Question is, are you happy being there or not?
Yeah.
Now it's not wrong to be there.
Yeah.
It's whether you are happy and content or not being in that position.
Yeah.
If you are, by all means, that's what you choose.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in that.
Yeah.
But if you are someone who's, I think, ambitious, who wants to, do something with their life, that will not be they will not be happy with that. They will always strive to be better.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because a lot of times there's people is like, okay, I'm happy where I am. That's it.
Yeah.
That's their life.
Yeah.
Which is not wrong. That's what they choose.
Yeah.
But then the question is, are they happy or not?
Good question. You said two important words there. Complacent, content. Am I contented? The way I look at it is, there's a saying the enemy of a great life is a good life.
Okay.
So a lot of people have a good life, they become very complacent about it. Okay, but they are not contented, meaning they have not achieved whatever they need to achieve and enjoyed everything they need to enjoy, and then finally they are so contented, they say that I've achieved all that, I've seen whatever I need to see, I've eaten whatever food I have to eat, I've traveled to whatever place I want to go, I've met the people that I want to meet, I'm so contented. Okay, that's where I feel that there's a difference. So those who are contented positively have seen so many fulfilled stuff. I think that's when you can move to the next level of actualizing yourself.
In the Maslow hierarchy.
Maslow's hierarchy, for you to move to the next level. But those who are complacent, they're saying, I have this and that, but actually they are still eager and yearning for other things.
But they're telling themselves a lie that I'm happy.
Exactly. So it's a very thin line whether they are happy or not, because if I am saying contented when I'm actually complacent, but I still want to go to the next place, then that distance that I have is what that creates that fear or the sadness where I can say I'm happy, but I'm not. So that part is very thin line. So only the person knows whether they're contented that they've achieved whatever they need to do, and they're like,
yeah,
I've been there, I've done that. Time for me to, this is the powerful word, to serve now. That's what self-actualization takes you to, right? So I think that is a place that we need to be very careful with the word, whether I'm complacent or contented. Right?
Whether I'm happy where I am.
Whether I'm happy where I am or not. So a lot of people say, some of them will just, for not doing the work that they're supposed to do, they say, I'm happy with whatever that I'm getting.
To escape the work.
To escape the work. But when you really look at it, are they giving their 100% in the frame of time? It's totally different. Are you doing a 10,000 a year job, 20,000 a year job, 500,000 a year job, or 1 million a year job?
Ringgit, meaning whatever currency.
Yeah, whatever the currency, right?
Yeah.
So as per that, you will know how much of energy you're going to put.
Yeah.
So last session we were talking about the trillionaires, the billionaires and all that. Now, I'm sure they're trillionaires. We didn't speak about trillionaires. We spoke about billionaires and all that. Just imagine the amount of time
they're trading,
the activity they put,
how potent
with the systems. They already have trillions of dollars of investment going on, right? So it'll be very powerful. So that part is what we need to be very careful when we, just simply say it out. I'm happy wherever I am.
Because that programs your mind that to give you the chemicals that, okay, this person is happy, let me give the hormones to simulate that happiness.
Again, yes, but at the same time, are they truly happy?
Then
but if they're not truly happy, the gap we spoke about, they always, I'm happy, but I like that car. I want to get that car, but I already have my car, which is okay, got 4 wheels, can take me from A to B.
So the inner conflict starts.
Inner conflict. But they also want to yearn to get that car. So that space is something we need to pay attention to.
It's interesting also because when we look at, example, you're happy with where you are. Example, you've reached that point. You're happy where you are. Then you see something which maybe was a dream of yours before. Like getting a nice car, a nice house. Like, I want that.
Yeah.
Now the question is, that can also turn into a, I wouldn't say habit, but more of a chase that may never end.
Yeah.
I always want something more.
Yeah.
Something I want, let's say, example, you start with a small car. You see a nice 4-door sedan. Okay, I want to get that car. You already got that car. Now you see a same 4-door sedan, but now of a luxury brand.
Yeah.
I want to get that.
Yeah.
Then now you keep going. So I think that also is also something that you keep in mind. If not, that will become a chase also. But again, if you're happy doing that, by all means. If you're a car enthusiast, by all means, go buy whatever car you want. The question is that something that internally, are you happy doing that or not?
I think the word that comes to my mind is greed. Right? Is greedy bad? Right?
Yeah.
Is greed bad? I will argue on it because depends again
On
the
what it
intention
is
of
like,
it, right? So let's go back to nature again. Nature's only job is not to grow to a certain level only. Have you seen a tree that grows and says, I'm done with it, I'm not going to grow, and sun comes out and says, I think enough shine today, I'll take off tomorrow?
No, most of the trees I see, they grow, and I think when it's time for them, they just drop.
They drop or they'll grow and take over the entire building.
Yeah.
Right? So they don't, when nature does that, it's all about massive, right? It doesn't say, enough for today, this and that. It'll just keep growing, right? So if that is the case, we also are from nature.
Correct.
We also mainly carbon, when you really look at it.
Carbon-based, yeah.
Yeah. So if you really look at it, then our nature should be also about growth.
Correct.
So nothing wrong in the growth part. Okay. So what we need to question is our intention for doing it. So if you want to go and get your biggest car, whatever, go and get it. But at the same time, you also, when you're growing, you also have generating wealth.
Yes.
But the wealth should not be just going into that car alone.
Should be diversified.
Now you're diversifying. Where does that energy go to?
That's where serving comes
Absolutely.
into play.
So if it's going to these kind of areas, you're more fulfilled. Then you're happy. But if let's say you're just, I want these material things only. I had a good conversation with a friend that day. A lot of people are chasing for money. And then they have so much of money. And then we go and ask them, why are you chasing some more? No, I'm chasing because I want to secure my family's life, status, safety, whatever, right? So this is where, I was contemplating about, maybe it's the right time to chat about this. If you look at the chakra system, they're basically 7 layers, right? So when I looked at the Maslow's hierarchy of need, the way it came out is in a very different perspective.
It's a pyramid, yeah.
It's a pyramid. Now, the way I look at it, it's my proposal, right? My perspective. So if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of need, the bottom one is actually survival.
Yep, basic needs.
You need to survive. I need to eat, live,
have a shelter,
shelter, go toilet, I don't die, right? So say survival level. Now at the survival level is where you also reproduce, because you want to have procreation. You want to have your generation. That's what the animals are doing well, right? And human also like that, we procreate. Hence we get married, this and that. So we have lineage and all that. So that is where the bottom level comes. And if you look at the identical part, so to procreate, let's say look at the bottom line for evolution purpose, you need to also have the desire to procreate. You need to have the desire. So if you look at the chakras, that's the bottom chakra, the Muladhara basically talks about that survival, procreation, all that's driven by that. And you go to the next level, which is the Swadhisthana. It talks about desire. You want to procreate, you have the desire to move, right? So when you look at that, when in hierarchy of need, when you look at the bottom part, is basically it talks about survival. Survival is about that, right? Because you need to have these two. So I can put these two at that part. And then when you are basically having desire, then what you're going to do is basically you're going to create stuffs. You're going to create businesses, you'll get into job, because now you don't have a shelter, you want to build a shelter. Okay, this comes under the safety part.
Okay.
Which is the second layer of Maslow's pyramid. So this is where the Manipura, basically the solar plexus work, where you basically go into the activity mode. Because only by getting the activity mode done, you can actually get the shelter where now whoever the family that you've created now can be safe. Now, at this point of time, when safety is attained, then we go to the next level of the chakra, is where it's called the Anahata, right? It's a center, the heart chakra. Over here is where you have love. Now, at this point of time, if you look at the similarity in the Maslow's hierarchy of need, it's where belonging comes.
Yes.
So now you cannot talk to someone who's like don't even have a shelter, talk about love, this and that. They're already fighting to
Survive.
save their family, survive and go to safety. So this is where it becomes very tricky. Okay, you can either ascend from here because it's like a star, or you can descend back.
Go back to the
So
basic.
you go back to I want to generate more, I want to keep my family safe. Now, if you ascend, then it goes to the next level, which is the throat part of it, which is called Visuddhi. Now, at this part is where you become powerful. This is where I propose that it could be the self-esteem part.
Okay.
You're full of confidence, the way you talk, because
carry
you
yourself
have exactly because you have surpassed the part of family, this and that. Now you know you have taken. So if you take, put your palms together and then you make a cup. It looks like a bowl, and if you put some food in it and you flatten the top, that is 2/3 full your tummy, right? That's how much you can eat.
That's how
But
much
you
your
have
body can take.
so much of stuff with you. What are you doing with so much of it? How are you going to now serve? That's where it comes, right? So self-esteem kicks in. Now you're so confident. Safety is taken care, love is there, family is there, trust is there. Now you can move to the next level. Now I can go and do other stuff, right? Now that is at the next level. When you go higher, is where your agna is, you're connected to your pituitary gland. Now you will see everything as it is. This is where I believe and propose it's a self-actualization stage. That's the final part of the hierarchy of needs.
Somewhat like enlightenment.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah. So there are many people already there. They're not fighting for
Basic needs.
the basic needs. They're not fighting for love, this and that. They already surpassed that. Now they are so confident. Now they see everything as it is. They're serving, and obviously, if you do this more in the chakra side, you have sahasrara, which is the top part where it's blissed out. Obviously you'll be super excited because you are not being weighed by other fears.
Basically, the material world does not affect you in a way.
Absolutely, you have moved on. So that is the part we need to be very. I think that's the part for all of us, including me. That's where I think that the transition need to begin to either go up or down, right? So if you look at the hierarchy of needs, it's a triangle that goes up,
Yep.
right? So that's what we need to pay attention. So basically, that's what we need to look at. There's never enough. So if we can ascend, so it is no more greed. It's more on purpose. If we descend, then we can maybe turn it on greed. I amass, not enough, amass. Ask why? I want to protect my family. But they're well protected.
True.
Okay.
So that means again greed can be looked at the two ways also. One is I want to collect everything for myself and keep it.
Yeah.
Another one is I want to collect to make sure my family is safe.
Yeah.
Which is not wrong because you're looking out for your family.
Yeah.
Again comes the question is how much is enough?
Yep.
Because as we know, our life is, I would say, it's always there's always things to be needed, always.
Yep.
So that means, example, you buy something, let's say a nice shirt. When you buy, okay, I look nice, I want to buy one more. Then I want to buy another one. I want to buy another one. It keeps going. So it's a constant cycle. I wouldn't say a vicious cycle. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
But you will have to know personally whether that is enough for you.
Yeah.
Which again comes with experience and the environment actually at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
If let's say the peer pressure is coming in, hey, I got this nice car, I bought this house, and all that when that comes in, you will feel inadequate. But when you look back, you already have a nice car, you already have a nice house. But when you see someone with a bigger house and a bigger car, that's when I think it changes to now chasing to be better than the other person. That I feel is really negative because that's when it goes to the other greed already. When nothing is enough.
Yeah.
And that will not allow you to go up the hierarchy.
Absolutely.
Maslow's hierarchy.
Absolutely.
In the chakras also.
Yeah.
You're limiting yourself to that because you want to be better than the other person.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, from my point of view, is not healthy. Because everyone has their own path in their life. Like, it's like Buddha always say, right? I think not Buddha, one saying was, Doesn't matter whether they take a different path, they'll always reach the same destination.
Dalai Lama.
Yes. So, I mean, everyone has their own journey. If you want to compare yourself to another person's journey, it will not work. Definitely, it will not work because that's their life. You are living your life. You can take inspiration from them on what they have done, but not copy it directly. Because if you copy it one to one, you might as well be the same person.
Correct.
And that will create even worse. One, because you'll have identity crisis, as you'll be thinking, who am I now? So again, we had a interesting conversation with a friend of ours, I think a few days back, on the question of who am I? I think there was another person, Ramana Maharishi, who mentioned this. He questioned himself of who am I, and our good friend also mentioned that he asked himself the question when he was spiritually detached from himself. At that point of time, I think it's written somewhere, he was spiritually detached, and that's when he asked himself, who am I? Now, I think when it comes to us, when we are still in the physical world, you still need to ask also who are we, and more importantly, what's the purpose of what we are doing? Again, comes back to intention. If your intention is to do good, generally your actions will bring you down that path. May not be direct, because again, we are humans, we make mistakes along the way, but we learn. But somehow or rather, it'll bring you to that path, whether subconsciously or consciously when you make the decision. I think that's interesting part about life also. When you deep down, you know what you want to do, but you may be doing something else at the moment, again, whether you're content or not. But somehow or other, your life will bring you down the path where you'll end up where you feel content. That's something which I have realized over the years. Somehow or other, it will bring you there. Either by external forces or internally, you are choosing that path, which is interesting to observe also. It's like, that's life. That's why we always see when people who have reached a certain point in life, they always say life always works out.
That's how it's supposed to work out, right?
It's interesting to see also. But again, it's a journey for everyone. Some people take 5 years, then they've really reached where they want. Some will take 50 years to reach where they want. I think the important point there is basically to be okay with that journey. And if you're not okay, come out of that point. Don't sit there and have the plum disease, poor little old me. That's not going to help anything. I think you have to tell that, okay, if you're at that disgusted level already, come out of it. Do something different. And be happy with that change. May not be easy, but be happy with the change that you're doing. Come out of it. Okay, now lead a different life. Which is, I think everyone will go through at one point of their life.
True. So it comes back to complacency and whether you're going to get things done, right? So I think here is where if your purpose is super strong, see, again, we are so much soul into purpose. But purpose is somewhere in the future.
Correct.
When we are able to bring that energy to the current and get excited on the activity that we're doing, again, what I'm driving at is basically in the span of time, if we put good work into it, the ripple effect will create another good activity to come. Another good activity. Right? So if that doesn't happen, you don't get the next ripple effect, the next activity. So if you put mediocre into that time frame, you'll get mediocre next activity. So if you want to have a high energy thing happening, so you need to put high energy into the bucket or low energy. High energy will last longer. So you can carry on with a lot of activity. If you put low and then it go down again and then you do again, it's just up and down, up and down. If you put high, it's high and then it will taper and then you hit it high, and that's how you build your momentum. So a lot of people don't do that. So become complacent, okay, they come up with a lot of stories just to satisfy their ego to say, but the truth of the matter is they're not actually solving the big problem that they wanted to solve.
Correct.
especially the entrepreneurs, right? So when we look at the big problem, we say, oh, it gets you excited to do the work now, not look at the problem.
Correct.
Okay, so there's a if you want to be a billionaire, solve $1 billion problem, right? So that's what we need to look at. But the journey is right now. What we're doing must be exciting, so that it can start the next one. So one of the things I always tell you guys is get meetings.
Yeah.
Right? You go and get meetings. Because when you have meetings, it opens up so many other conversations.
Ones that we never expected to have.
Exactly. And every time after a meeting, when you come, you realize the energy is very high.
Yes.
Right? Energy is very high, meaning you have packed up that energy into that bucket. It'll create the next ripple effect. Maybe a proposal should go out, maybe another meeting has been done. You realize boom, 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 it takes.
Yeah.
Now let's say not going out. Sitting in your complacent world and doing whatever that you're doing, and we are masking ourselves with our daily stuff, telling that this is more important than anything else. So you are not putting that high energy into the bucket, like meeting up people,
making calls,
meeting up, having conversations,
having presentations.
Because now there's more than one brain working. There's two minimum having a conversation.
Like us sitting here.
Exactly. It opens up. And then we have ideas, and then we come and implement. That's a very powerful thing. So if we keep doing it, there's no room for complacency to come in.
Correct.
We'll be always moving, right? Because high energy takes you. Hence, it's called momentum.
Yep.
So you need to create that momentum. So at least 90 days plus another 90 days, 180 days, you need to keep working so that you can see some results coming. A lot of people give up after the 90 days. They say, oh, I tried, didn't work. No, keep doing. Keep doing. Now, once it becomes a natural occurrence, which is called habit, maybe something we should talk about in the future, then it becomes an auto mode. That's why when you see certain successful people, they do certain things habitually, looks very effortless for them, but they gain very good result. And they also hit a plateau.
Correct.
And that's when another growth takes place. Maybe they met up with another person, they went for a conference.
Someone more successful.
Exactly. Next level. So while we're going to level by level higher, we're generating higher energy.
Correct.
The question is that, is the energy making us to ascend or descend back? So we need to be very careful. If we can use that analogy to guide us, I think we should look at ascending. Challenges will come.
Yeah.
Everyone has a challenge. I go through challenge. You go through challenge.
Yeah.
Life without a challenge is not exciting.
You'll be living a normal life.
Exactly. Again,
complacency,
right?
Yeah.
So that's what we need to look at.
Yeah, so it's interesting because when you talk about complacency again, it's like basically you're sitting there and okay, I'm happy, or you're afraid to take the next step because you don't want to risk what you have. Again, if you're in the lowest hierarchy of Maslow's hierarchy, having the fear to move from there is valid because you may lose your job as you go. Again, comes to the question, also there could be a question is, if you're in that point also, if what you're doing is not giving you joy also, it'll affect you negatively as well. Because you may not be happy doing what you're doing. And you might say, okay, I know this job is important for me to have the basic needs met, but am I happy doing what I'm doing? And that may result in the person leaving the job. Now they'll have even worse one because no income now. So again, how will we be able to go through that? Because question of being happy doing what you're doing is one. Second is, are you willing to take the next leap to go higher in your life? So all that comes into play also, I feel.
Sure. Good question. As what you said, if let's say we're in a survival mode. Survival mode, think about this, and this is how I think the Maslow's hierarchy of need also it's being articulated. If let's say you're traveling in a car with your family, and the car had an accident and it's plunged into the river, deep river. Okay. You and your family are drowning. Who would you save first?
ourselves. We'll save ourselves first.
Ourselves meaning?
Meaning myself, will make sure I'm safe.
So meaning your survival mode kicks in, that it's very much about you, about yourself.
Yeah.
So in that process of saving yourself, you might also push your family down to come up.
Yep.
So once you have come to safety level is when your mind kicks in, say, oh my God, where's my family? And then you go down and start pulling them out one by one.
Yeah.
So similarly, when you're in the survival mode, like what you said, in work, things are not going your way. So you are also in a fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
So those who are in that position is very stressful. It's where you need to start coming up. So for that, you can either flight,
get out of it,
give up, and run away, like what you said, lose the job. Or you fight now, like what I was telling you. Now you are disgusted. You're at the rock bottom. You can now jump. You don't have to drown. Right? So now you can jump to the next level, just to a level where
you can
you're
breathe.
safe now.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, now you can now recollect, you can re-strategize and move to the next level. So life is about that. So life is to be lived. That's the most important thing. So wherever we are, there's a fair chance of fighting back to come back to the next level. Just make that one leap where it takes you to the next, and then you go into that path of the hierarchy of need, your ascension, whatever, right?
Okay.
So again, once you are in a safety level, now you can think a bit. That's when you see, okay, now I can breathe. Now can I put good work into the time frame? Now I put, then I move.
Yeah, so that means the more potent the work, meaning the more high quality the work you put into, let's say 1 hour, even 1 hour of work, you can do maybe, let's say, 5 activities in that 1 hour. If it's of high quality, you only need to work 1 hour a day.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. So this movie comes to my mind. It's some Tamil movie. So the father owns a provision shop. The son is a policeman.
Single.
And then I think the constable is another guy. It's a famous comedian, right? Vijay. Amazing story.
Vivek, yeah.
Yeah. So the constable will ask the father of his chief, the inspector, okay, how come you always give him the privilege, the priority to conduct the business? Because you also have a family business.
Yeah.
Okay. So the father then says, okay, I'll give you the opportunity. Okay, can you carry out this duty about this?
Ask about something, right?
Some consignment coming.
Yeah.
Okay, can you go and handle? So what the constable does is say, okay, he'll just pick up the phone and ask, okay, where is the consignment now? And then he'll tell where's the consignment, and then he'll put down the phone and then say, here's the consignment is there. And then the father says, okay, what time is the consignment coming? And then he says, okay, I'll call back. He'd call back again, say, what time is the consignment coming? Okay, consignment is coming this time. And then he says, okay, in which warehouse will the consignment be put in? Something like that line. I'm just making it up.
It's multiple questions.
Multiple. And then he says, oh, let me call. See, call. So he'll do multiple of calls to see from where the consignment comes and how.
The person getting the call got fed up.
Yeah, fed up and shouted at him. Then he says, okay, then he gave it to his son, how to handle. So he went there, he asked, where's the consignment, what time it's coming, which warehouse, from there, how it's going into the system where they're actually going to put it on the shelf where customers to come and pay with the price tag on. So he
all
did
in one
that
phone call.
in one phone call. So who spent more time? The constable.
Yeah.
The other person spent little time but got the work done.
Yeah.
So you saw how powerful it is. So that is something, if the challenge is that if we don't know, we should go and ask and not to repeat that again. So we basically compound it on our learning. So take notes, being an apprentice, take notes, understand, okay, and don't keep asking the same question. You need to keep, if you're working with someone superior, you must show that you're progressing.
Yeah.
And for that you must be very hungry in learning. So take notes, ask questions. People like asking, if someone is asking questions, because they are thirsty.
Shows
to
they
learn.
want to learn.
Exactly. So one day they can take over that position. That is very powerful. So I think that's how we need to look at it.
So it's basically whether you're hungry enough to go to move, or you're full and you're fulfilled.
Yeah.
You don't want to move.
Yeah.
Which is subject to everyone. Like if you go to someone, hey, it is not where you should be. You should be in a different part of a level in your life. They might say, no, I'm happy where I am. This is what I want. So that is something which again comes down to the person, whether they want to come out of it or they are happy where they are.
Stay there.
So it's a very powerful thing, because I see some people, they tell the others, no, you should be in a different part of your life. Sometimes family members also say, no, you should not do this, you should do this, which again creates unhappiness in the person also, because that's not what they want to do. They are being forced to do
Yeah.
these kind of things, which is not again, it could be because the family members are pushing what they couldn't achieve onto the other person. They want to see another person achieve it.
Many.
Yeah, which is not fair, I feel, because everyone has their own need and wants. They want to achieve different things in life.
Yep.
Someone who, let's say example, who doesn't want to be a lawyer, they want to be let's say an engineer. But because the family is pushing them to be a lawyer, they end up being a lawyer, and after a few years, after getting their degree, after a few years, they quit the job and do something else.
Absolutely. Many cases.
Yeah, we've seen so many people who actually study one thing but do a different thing.
Along the way, parents burnt a lot of money.
Yeah. But then that comes also to, they could be also at that point of time, that's what the person wanted to do. That could have been their passion. But maybe down the road, they would have seen something that changed their perspective on what they thought was their passion. They're like, okay, never mind, I don't want to do this anymore. Let me do a different job.
Yeah.
Which is fair. Again, that's the life they choose.
Yeah.
So again, comes back to what you want to do and whether you're happy doing what you're doing or not.
Exactly. We must do the do.
Yeah.
That's
Then
the
we can have.
activity. That's when you can have.
And
when you're doing it, you must be potent.
yes.
Yeah.
And should not do for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Because what I've seen also is a lot of people are in the so-called rat race in a way. But again, they're also like zombies in a way. They go to work, do the work, come back, go to work, do the work, come back. It's like a zombie. They become a zombie. Like you look at them, they'll be like staring at you, eyes all sunken.
Yeah.
So again, are they happy doing what they're doing?
Should ask them, because it's the grind. That's how the system is. The system is 9 to 5 you work without counting the travel time, especially if you're in the urban area. You have to give yourself another 2-3 hours for travel. So just imagine 9 plus 3, that's already 12 to 13 hours gone. And how much time do you have? And when you go back home, you can't simply move from an employee to a son, or a father to an employee to a father or mother. You can't, because you need to have some transition time.
Yeah.
So many people don't do that. So when they are at home also, now they're also thinking about what they need to do tomorrow. Hence they are not there. So there's no time, real undivided time with the family. Undivided time meaning it's not where you spend like 1 hour face to face and having no, it's like giving 5 minutes of undivided time without the phone. Goes longer. It's quality more than quantity.
Yeah.
Then sitting down. No kids, I think, want their parents to be with them for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Just staring at them.
Vice versa.
Vice versa, right? So these are things that we need to pay attention to, because it's the grind.
Yep.
The grind is designed because the small cog, this gear, is actually spinning the big machine.
Yes.
And the big machine is not visible. Many people don't know the vision, mission of the company. If you go and ask any corporate, you go and ask them, hey, what is the vision? And they'll be like scrambling because they forgot. And then if they have a badge, they'll reach out to their badge and then they'll take out.
Very few can answer
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
It depends on how long they've been working in that company. It can be seen in the color of the badge. If it's a bit yellow and all that, they've been there for some time. And then they'll try reading what's there and they themselves can't understand. Hence, it's a big issue. The way it starts with the vision and how the customers are going to experience. Now, all this only can happen, the process where the work is being put. How powerful is the work that's being put in the frame of time?
Correct.
Right? So when you put that, then you get very good result. Similarly, so in a situation where, one can be a zombie, okay, tired. Another one at the same company will be so excited like Energizer Bunny.
Full of life.
Full of life. There's a difference because one is truly excited and somehow connected to the why of the company. The belief of the person matched to the belief of the company. And every day when they're doing the work, they're putting in extra work, just like the story that I told about the constable and the inspector. Right? Similarly, they can get more done. Obviously, if you can get their work done more, how would their career path be?
They will climb the ranks faster.
So will they go to the next level?
Yeah.
And then if they maintain, they'll go level. Now over here, there's in the Vedic, it's whatever that you do, treat it as a game. So we treat it as a game. Don't expect for result. Just imagine.
Enjoy the journey.
Just imagine you have a ball in front of you, and you need to score a goal. Okay. You don't look at the ball, and you're supposed to kick.
Okay.
You're not looking at the ball. How would you kick? Will it go to the goal?
No, because you don't know where the goal is.
No, you can see the goal.
Okay.
You don't see the ball. But you know the ball is somewhere in front of you, but you don't see the ball when you're kicking.
You might kick the ball or kick grass.
You might.
Yeah.
So chances are you'll miss more. Right? You might kick the air, you might kick the grass, sometimes you'll kick the ball. So the whole idea is you must bring your focus to the ball when you're kicking.
That's why they always say keep your eye on the ball.
Yes. Then you hit the target because you know where you're going to hit. Now you prime yourself. So if someone is throwing the ball to someone, it is not where the ball is going, it's how the ball is leaving their hand. How it's leaving their hand can be controlled.
Yeah, the speed, angle,
everything.
Spin.
Yeah. So but what we're looking at, we're seeing far only, but we're not priming ourselves. So every time when we're excited kicking the ball or throwing the ball, you'll always hit the target better compared to someone who's only looking at the goal. So this Energizer Bunny looks at the work on hand and excited, just doing. Play the game. Ball comes, I need to pass to the next person. That's my game. Pass, and the team wins. Right?
Correct.
That's how it is. If let's say I got the ball and I'm only looking at the goalpost and running with the ball,
You'll be tired.
you'll be tired.
Yeah.
So then I'll slowly, I will not enjoy the game, and then I'll fall back into the situation again.
You become a zombie.
Exactly.
Like, I have to wake up and go to work. When you start having that, gone.
Yeah.
You're already not happy already.
Yeah. I had that
many years back.
Many years back. When I woke up, I was reading this book called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. I don't know which chapter, I forgot. When you wake up and you have this nauseating feeling to go to work, time to make a change. It was around year 2000. Yeah, that's when I decided to make a change, and everything else opened up. Still maneuvering life, the things that we do and all that. So
So again, comes back to what you want to do, whether you're happy doing what you're doing, and I mean, if you're happy where you are, you're doing well, by all means continue doing that. But again, if you feel there's something which you're not fulfilling in your life, I'm sure there are people who are sitting down right now listening to our podcast, maybe at their desk or on their way home listening to us. They might be thinking, there's something I have not achieved yet. So that is something which I think all of us need to find. What is that you're not fulfilling?
Absolutely. The moment we have that awareness, that's when we need to quickly come back to what I need to do right now to get what I want sometime in the future.
Correct.
And that doing right now must be crystal clear, easy to do and exciting to do. And you'll do it. Which will create high energy next step to the next step. So that's how we must start. So definitely whoever or wherever we are, there is a distance we are trying to go for. I want that.
Correct.
But what I'm always been saying is that we must create that small process. We need to have clarity to move forward. Not just being courageously, I want to get that.
You'll be reckless.
Absolutely.
You need to have they call it, I forgot where I heard this is. Basically, you have to plan, have a clear plan of what you want to do and execute that plan. If you don't, you'll again come back to the goalpost and ball.
Yeah.
You know where you want to go, but you don't know where the ball is, and you try and kick, you will not get that.
Absolutely.
And it comes back to again the small things in life. Like you do everything, the small things you do, it will add up to a large result. Like a snowball. When you take in your hand, it will be as big as your hand.
Yeah.
You roll it down the hill, over time it will accumulate, it will become the size of a house.
Yep. Snowball effect.
So that is something which, and again, that takes time also. How fast is the ball rolling? Whether there's a lot of snow or not for it to collect.
Absolutely.
So same thing, I think in our life also, which as you mentioned, the 90 days, 90 plus 90. If you're giving up in the first 90 days, who knows on the 91st day is the result that's coming already.
Yeah.
And because you gave up on the 90th day, that 91st day didn't happen.
Absolutely.
So I think we all need to see it from that point of view. Just keep doing. Again, you have to give it 90 days. If after 180 days there's nothing happening, then there's something you need to look at.
Yeah.
You need to see, especially for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because whether you can eat and sleep in a safe place not depends on that.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that everything is done well.
Yeah. So rather than waiting for 180 days, every day test and measure.
Celebrate the closeness.
Celebrate and then see whether we are heading that direction or not. So closeness, are we getting closer or not? Right? So you have to check. Don't wait too long.
Yeah.
Then it's like flying a plane without a radar means it's a big issue, right?
You go off by 1 degree means gone.
Exactly. So similarly, check and balance. It's good to have an accountability partner. Very powerful. Somewhere I read, if you have an accountability partner, your success rate goes up by 76%, which is huge.
Because you're accountable to them. Really.
Same thing like gym. You go to gym membership is one story. If you go to gym membership and have a personal trainer who's accountable to different result.
Or you just have your gym buddy follow you.
Absolutely.
You'll be accountable.
Correct. Have an accountability buddy. Very powerful. And that will all make sure that there's a feedback system and your job is potent in that time.
Because you'll be course corrected along the way, which is important also.
Yeah.
If you don't have course correction, like a plane, like you're flying without radar, you go off by 1 degree. Instead of going to one destination, you'll end up somewhere else.
Yeah, want to go to London, you might end up in Timbuktu.
Yeah. So you need to be very careful, even in your life also. If you're going towards one thing, if you don't course correct, you'll end up at a destination, but the destination may not be the one you want.
Absolutely. And every time after any meeting, come back and see how I can make my time to be exciting, to be potent.
To fulfill the work. Again, you already had the meeting. How can you now, as it's really like fresh, hot iron, you have to hit the iron while it's hot.
Absolutely.
Because once it cools down, you hit also nothing, it might break.
Yeah, complacent.
Yes. So you need to basically keep fire under your chair.
Yep.
Not literally, but yeah.
Yeah, get fired up, right?
Yeah.
Don't get fired.
Don't get fired. Get fired up, but don't get fired.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So I think that's an interesting chat today about complacency. Again, we implore those of you who are listening to find one purpose in your life. I mean, you could be driving, you could be riding a bike, you could be exercising while listening to us. What's the one thing you have yet to fulfill? That's something which I would like to ask you guys.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you have not fulfilled, and find a way to work on it.
Yep.
And so that will be the end for today's podcast.
Awesome. All the best, everyone.
Yes, thank you for listening. And of course, as usual, we would love to hear your reviews on the podcast. Please feel free to leave a review, or you have any feedback or feed forward for us to improve upon our podcast, feel free to share. We would love to hear that. And of And do follow and subscribe. Follow on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube for the next podcast. It's every Sunday, 12 p.m. We will release the podcast. So, and yeah, do share this with your friends, those who you feel who needs to listen to this. Do share. And yeah, thank you so much for listening today.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great day.